On today's episode, we're going to make some yummy strawberry shortcake with our resident cook, Jenny Brock. Jenny, so tell us how we get started to make our little strawberry shortcakes.
So we're actually going to do this on a buttermilk biscuit base.
Oh.
There's lots of different kinds of strawberry shortcake you can do, but I like that it's a little bit denser, gives you a little bit more texture to it.
Okay.
So in our bowl, we've got our just all-purpose flour,
Okay.
some sugar, very tiny bit of baking soda, some baking powder, a little bit of salt. I'm going to add a half stick of really cold butter that's been cubed up. And I'm actually just gonna mix this together with my hands. You can do it in a food processor or something like that, but I find it's just a little bit faster this way, and I feel like I'd get a better mix on it.
You tell me when you need the rest of the butter added in, because we know I like being the sous chef.
So I'm just squishing those pieces with my fingers, and you want it to be down to kind of the consistency of like rough cornmeal.
Okay.
You can throw a couple more in there if you want. Once we've got this all mixed in, we've got a 3/4 cup of heavily shaken buttermilk that'll get mixed in. I'm not going to do that part with my hands because it gets really sticky. I'll do that with the fork.
Okay. Now you've added your buttermilk. Now it looks like it's all mixed. Now what?
So we're going to turn it out onto a nice floured surface. You actually kind of have two options here. I, a lot of times, like to do it really rustic, and in that case, then I'm just going to pull off the blob and stick it right on the pan. But we're going to make them look a little bit nicer today. So we're going to kind of...
Pretty strawberry shortcake.
You know, a little more uniform, if you will. We're going to roll it out pretty gently. You don't want to over roll it because then that's when they're going to get too dense and a little kind of funky. And we want them to stay relatively thick. I'm going to go to about 1/4 of an inch or so. And then I've got a nice round cookie cutter here. And we'll just get as many out as we can, recombine, and then get as many out of that as we can.
Great. Next, what are we going to do?
So now that we've got our biscuits cut and they're on a parchment paper lined baking pan, we're going to brush them with a little bit of milk and then sprinkle some turbinado sugar on the top, or really any kind of raw, coarse sugar, so you get a little bit of that color and a little extra sweetness on there as well.
Okay, is that too much milk?
Maybe a little, but it's okay. It all mixes off. You just need just a nice, light enough brush that it gets kind of golden, a little crisp on the outside, and something for the sugar to stick to.
Okay.
So we're going to pop these into a 425 oven for just 12 to 15 minutes, basically once they look nice and golden. And there we go.
All right, let's pop them in.
As my sous chef, you were doing a prime job today. Look at these beautiful strawberries that she's cut up for me.
Thank you, Jenny.
I'm going to do one myself over here. Just going to make sure that we get that top off. And for mine, you can really cut them any way you want. I like the long slices. I feel like they're a little easier to kind of grab with your fork, and I like the way they lay over the shortcake. Or today, as we're doing buttermilk biscuits. So once you've got them in a bowl, probably about a pint sliced up, I'm going to add in, just to give it a little extra kind of unique flavor, we're adding 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And then we're also going to add some balsamic vinegar, which is just a little different, kind of tangy.
That's interesting because I would never thought to use that with the sweetness of the strawberries, but it's a nice balance.
It is. It's a really nice balance and just kind of gives it just a, a really unique taste. So we'll stir that together, and you're gonna be okay letting this sit. You can do this first, you can do it while your biscuits are baking, anything so that all those flavors can kind of meld together and really get delicious.
Oh, that vinegar smells good too.
All right.
Now that our beautiful biscuits are out of the oven, we're ready to plate them.
All right. So we've got our biscuit here. In the meantime, we've made our whipped cream. Making your own whipped cream is really, really simple. You get some heavy whipping cream. Make sure you've got a bowl with some nice high sides. I just do it with a hand mixer on high. Throw in a little bit of powdered sugar, maybe a teaspoon of vanilla if you want to get a little more flavor in there. Our strawberries have been sitting, getting some nice flavor with the balsamic and the brown sugar. Just take a nice big spoonful.
Oh, look at that soaking
Add
into
them on there. Exactly. We've got that lovely syrup that's built up. I'm trying to get some from underneath. There we go. And a nice big dollop of our nice fresh whipped cream. And you're all set.
Wow, this is
simple,
beautiful,
beautiful, and such good flavors.
I cannot wait to eat this. You know what we say? When creativity knocks, open the door. Where's a fork?